we're rolling. Dagon? Oh, so this is LudoLads.
Hi, welcome to our Halloween episode. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Yeah. We're doing Spooktober month.
Yeah, I've already done some absolutely terrible stuff.
I am writing this under an appreciable
Now we're gonna
mental strain,
play
since by
Dagon
tonight I shall
by
be
HP,
no more.
HP Lovecraft. Oh. During the game, encounter interactive elements. Cool. Circle, question.
So
some of the trivia is hidden.
I know what Lovecraftian horror is. I still have to read any actual Lovecraft, though.
Yeah, I've only read a couple, but basically, he's got a lot of eldritch horror stuff. I think he's one that invented a lot of them. Like, Cthulhu was created by Lovecraft.
Yeah, just...
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Oh, that's a little dramatic.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
So this is a free game we found on Steam, and as far as I can tell, it's just covering the Call of Cthulhu from, like, by H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, which I've never read, so this is perfect for me.
Yeah, it has been...
It was in one of the most
what might say, a hot minute since I've read it.
the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
I hope there's a little bit of actual gameplay. I don't know if it's just all point and click or not.
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation. So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
This voice actor is badass.
Yeah. I like him. Oh.
Oh.
Trivia. The Huns. The Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. Okay. Pause the episode if you want to read that.
Yeah.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Well, there you go.
What are you doing with that boat down there? Oh, don't worry about it.
Just taking a nap. Okay.
This is where I prefer to sleep.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator,
Nope.
I could only guess vaguely by the sun
Stay
and
with your
stars
captors,
that I
then.
was somewhat
Yeah.
south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
Like, doesn't sound like you were, like, being abused or anything.
Yeah. I mean, he did just talk about jumping from a window, so maybe...
Well, like, this is
Yeah.
him recount. Like,
Yeah, I know, but like maybe he just wanted to end it all back then.
yeah, maybe.
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
Okay. Just boat simulator now?
You gotta take a swig from that wine,
Yeah.
kid.
Probably water.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
Certain words are bolded.
Yeah?
The change happened whilst I slept.
Ooh.
Its details I shall never know, for my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Fun. There's another boat. Or is it? That's the boat we were on, isn't it?
Yeah. We're washed up on some beach.
Yeah.
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see,
Monotonous undulations. I love that.
and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
Is this the actual text from the book?
Though one might well
It has
imagine
been
that
too
my
long
first
since I've read it.
sensation would be of wonder
was familiar,
at so
though.
prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
Because I'm going to
For
read
there
me the
was in
shit out
air
of some
and
Lovecraft.
in the rotting soil a sinister quality
I've got
which
like
chilled
his
me
complete
to the very
collection
core.
on ebooks.
The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud
Once you
of
stand
the
up, they're not
uninjured
as big as
plain.
I thought.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity.
The lobstrosities.
There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
Yeah, no, still can't move around at all. There's
Yeah.
a boat. Can't
It's,
even...
it is a point and click, but it's not like, it's not at all boring, so,
Yeah.
like, jeez.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
Hmm.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might. Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Seafowl? Oh, like seagulls?
Birds, yeah.
Okay.
Is that an ammonite?
Ammonite?
No, like the little fossil thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, fish.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Just keep moving, I guess.
I might have just clued into what's actually going on here.
Yeah?
Is he on the back
On
of
the third
Cthulhu?
morning, I found
No.
the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
I thought
The
the
odor
thing
of
like
the fish
rose up
was
beneath him
maddening,
and he's just
but
been
I
on
was
the
too
back
much
of some
concerned
creature the
with
whole
graver
time.
things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly.
I
for
think
an
he's on like a
unknown
different
goal.
plane.
Oh,
But
like a different dimension?
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Well, what else would you call this?
Yeah.
No, like it's been so long since I read it. But no, I'm pretty sure he's not
All
on the
day
back
I
of
forged
Cthulhu's.
steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
What is that?
I have no idea.
Just weird shit.
What? Is that like a crab leg?
Oh,
That's a whale. There's the sun.
man, there's got to be so much weird shit in the ocean that we've never
Oh,
seen.
yeah.
That night,
Apparently
I
on a
encamped,
recent
and on the following
search
day,
in
still
Mariana Trench,
travelled
they
toward
found
the
a
hummock.
plastic bag.
Yeah,
That
that's.
object
I was just
seemed
about to mention that,
scarcely
which is
nearer
super
than when
depressing.
I'd first
Yeah.
espied it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Cthulhu does need to rise up.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, keep your shit out of my ocean.
And the second
By the
most...
fourth evening,
Oh.
I attained the base of the mound, which
4
turned out
days
to be
he's been...
much higher than it had appeared
Wow.
from a distance. An intervening
long
valley
walk.
setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
The second most common
I know not why my dreams were so wild that
ocean
night.
plastic is from the company that I work for, so sorry.
Oh,
Ere
no.
the waning
Stop
and
buying the stuff we
fantastically
make.
gibbous moon had risen far above the
I
eastern
don't.
plain. I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again. And in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day.
Oh?
Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Heck.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me, but I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and
Oh,
looked
what are
down
we
the
gonna
other
see?
side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
I can't look down.
I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into
There
a
we go.
fathomless chaos of eternal night. Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost
How old is Paradise Lost?
and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
What's Paradise Lost again?
Apparently it's a very old novel, but it's a group of explorers get lost in the mountains somewhere and they find like
Ledges
ancient
and
tribe of
outcroppings
people,
of rock
but
afforded
they've got,
fairly
like,
easy footholds for a
not
descent.
like an advanced civilization, but a different sort of civilization.
Is that a human skeleton
Where?
on the left? Oh no, it's on that rock ledge. Right immediately below you.
Oh, no, I think that's just a muck.
Oh, okay.
Whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet,
Oh, the declivity became very gradual.
Declivity. That's a new one to me.
Yeah, I think that's just like the angle. So it's not as steep.
urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me.
Is that the
An
monolith from
object that
Space
gleamed
Odyssey?
widely in the
Or
newly
just Odyssey?
bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Oh, Space Odyssey.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like science fiction before science fiction was a thing.
A lot of people say that Mary Shelley's
But it
Frankenstein was the
merely
first
a
sci-fi.
gigantic piece of stone,
yeah.
I soon assured
Because
myself.
Frankenstein doesn't build the monster using magic.
Right. Science
But I
is
was
together.
conscious of
Yeah.
a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
That's convenient.
For despite its enormous magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith,
It is a monolith.
whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Examining. Examining.
Examining.
Moon.
Aggressively loud.
The
Footsteps.
moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm, and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could
This guy
now
has a
trace
lot of
both
good
inscriptions
adjectives.
Yeah.
and crude sculptures.
What if he's just talking to himself, like saying this out loud the whole time?
Some people do that when
The
they write.
writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown
In which
to
case
me,
he's
and
very
unlike
quick at
anything
writing
I'd ever
on
seen
paper.
in books,
No, like in the game.
consisting for the most part of conventionalized
He's just
aquatic symbols
saying
such as
this.
fishes,
I
eels,
mean,
octopi,
he spent
crustaceans,
however many
mollusks,
days adrift at
whales,
sea,
and the like.
and then a day and a half just sitting in the shade of his boat, and then 4 days hiking across all that muck.
Yeah, I would definitely be.
I'd
talking
start
to myself.
narrating to myself.
Yeah.
Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern
Oh.
world.
What does that one in the middle look like?
Oh boy.
Or I guess that one up in the middle. Higher up.
Yeah.
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain.
Look at that one shark just underneath the hammerhead. Like, oh guys! What are we doing today? He looks stoked.
It was the
Love it.
pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Oh, trivia. Storytelling methods. Dagon contains many themes. Storytelling methods. Journals and character notes.
Oh.
Okay, so this is just stuff
Sweet.
about Lovecraft.
So it's not just a specific story. This is kind of like drawing from a bunch of his work.
I don't know, actually.
Huh. But let's skip the details in order not to spoil the ending. It says.
Plainly visible across the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré. I think that these things were supposed
Don't
to
know what those
depict
words
men,
mean,
at
dude.
least
No.
a certain sort of men. Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage
Okay.
at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint.
I mean, you could tell us some detail.
Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
Oh. Those are 4 very different faces.
Yikes.
Huh.
They were damnably human in general.
Oh. Damnably human in general, outlined despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips. I'm not seeing many lips.
Glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall.
Alright, let's not get rude.
Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act
Oh,
of
wow.
killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
Oh, wow.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size.
That's a blue whale, isn't it?
I don't know my whales.
Oh.
But in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe.
Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
Cool.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it.
Oh.
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Oh.
Loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the mind.
Alright, so this is not the
The
Lovecraft
battle
story I've read.
its gigantic scale while it bowed its hideous head.
Some stuff fell down. Ignore that.
Yeah, so this game has controller support, and we didn't know that. And the controller's just vibrating away on the desk, and it flew off.
Yeah.
He just went
Of my
mad.
frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
What? You ran the 4-day journey back?
He went mad.
I guess.
What is the camera
Oh.
doing?
I think my
Oh
controller...
no!
Hold up. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
There we go.
Did you disconnect it?
No, I just flipped it over.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There we go. We're back.
Crisis averted.
Guess I'm just climbing back up out of the cliff now.
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Delightful.
I cannot picture this voice actor singing.
I mean, some old sea shanties.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods. When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital. Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Oh, what?
In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing.
Oh.
Nor did I
Well,
deem it necessary
you find someone
to
that's been in
insist
a
upon
boat for
thing
days,
which
how
I
much
knew
of their
they
story
could
are you
not
really going to believe?
Yeah.
Oh. You're in the world of amateur journalism, 1915, conservative. Howard? The H stands for Howard? I never knew that.
Oh, HP. Oh, okay.
Huh. No, so I thought this was based on the story The Call of Cthulhu, but apparently not.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Well, there you go.
Oh.
Here's some more trivia. It's the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquests. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem and an underworld prison warder in one of the Babylonian texts. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name. In Hebrew, the word Dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's work, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that resides in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon.
Name your own order esoteric.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, we're odd.
Alright.
We're hard to understand.
Is this like the desk of the guy narrating, or is he just in...
I think so. It's a weirdly big office.
That is.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
Oh. Okay, more trivia. Oh,
Whoa, what was that?
I don't know. Camera just flipped. I don't think that was meant to be a spooky thing. I think that was
Yeah.
just a little glitch.
My mouse may actually be acting up.
Uh-oh.
You just walk over there for
Yeah.
no reason?
I don't know, maybe I could have clicked on something for some more trivia.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Yeah, I guess that's the crazy thing about stories like this. It's like,
Often I ask
because
myself
he
if
was
it could
stranded
not
at sea
all
for
have
so
been a
long,
pure phantasm,
it could have been, like I said, pure phantasm.
a mere
all
freak
in
of
his mind.
fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man of war.
But just
This
because it's
I
all in
ask
his head,
myself,
that doesn't mean that
Ever
it's
does
not
there come before me
real to
a
him.
hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Okay, but like, this is just Godzilla. Or Pacific Rim, actually, because there's a bunch of them.
The kaiju.
Yeah.
The end is near.
Some,
I
That's
hear
a
a
squelching.
noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
He's got the end table against the door.
yeah. What's that?
It shall not find me.
Oh,
Well,
maybe it will.
God, that hand!
Oh, that's spooky.
The window! The window!
Like, oh, I'm curious. It's like as you're falling through the window, you just hear room service.
oh, he dead.
Yeah.
Well, pool of cosmic horror.
That was fun.
Yeah, and free.
Yeah. That's a free game, guys. Dagon by H.P. Lovecraft.
I want to buy the little DLCs now
Yeah.
that are just more stories.
They are just more stories.
Nice.
Well, that was a good time. I hope you all have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
And we're not doing more spooky episodes next year unless you guys give us feedback. Because I hated it. This game was fun. The other games we played, not so much.
This is going to be, if anyone has a favorite like series of episodes, it's going to be the ones where Brian gets the shit scared out of him. I'm sorry, dude. That's just how it goes.
Okay.
All right. See you
Bye.
next time.
Happy Halloween.